What up, YouTube? Guess what today is? Voting day. And even though this video won't go out until I've already voted, and hopefully you've already voted, I wanted to touch on our civic duty. Civil duty? Or civic duty? I wanted to touch on what it means to really be able to speak our minds and change things, and what outcome we have, what control we have in that. So the idea of voting and what that evokes in a lot of people is the idea that my voice doesn't matter. There's so many things I wish would change, and yet we see over and over that the end result is usually something that we don't want, and we feel defeated. And not that I'm gonna get political on it, but I think it plays into our minds of feeling like we don't get to have a voice and it won't be heard. And that's what I grew up feeling like, and it wasn't until I did a lot of work on myself that I realized, you know, we do get to have a voice, but you have to fight for it, and you have to continuously, you know, put yourself out there and be willing to be vulnerable in order to get yourself heard. And then the realization that if you are heard and it isn't received in the way in which you wanted it to, that you can't feel defeated. You have to just stand by your word, because that's your truth. Because when we start to live not in our truth and silence ourselves and just go along with the masses, that's when we ultimately lose ourselves. And that's how depression sets in, and anxiety, when we're not listening to our gut anymore and not acting upon those feelings. So taking that to like a personal level, I've gotten more political, if you will, in the last year or so, because I have learned to find my voice, and therapy has really taught me to own that voice and stand by it no matter what. We saw a lot of those feelings kind of coming up with the Dr. Balsy Ford trial, or, you know, hearing, and it brought up a lot of feelings for a lot of men and women on both ends of the spectrum. And I don't want anybody silenced, because the overall, you know, message was, we hear you, but we don't care. And I don't want that to carry over to anybody else. So it's my mission to make sure that girls and guys have a voice within this country. Seriously, if I could evoke a change within the world, I mean, that would be unreal. But if I can start from my own, using my own voice, and one person can hear this and feel that they're, you know, supported and telling their story and speaking their truth, then I've, you know, accomplished what I'm doing the work for. So I'm gonna get into that more, but I'm gonna go vote right now, and then I'll catch you on the flip side. it's echoey as shit. It's really imperative that you do warm-up reps so that you can get the muscles activated, get your heart pumping, open up your hips, really get a good stretch going. And I always do like 2 warm-up sets, one with just the bar, one with lightweight, before I actually move into my heavier reps. That's just like, you never want to go into a lift cold. That's gonna be how you injure yourself. So make sure your flexibility is there, your range of motion is there. You saw all my warm-up stuff with the bands, some activation, because a lot of the times when you have cold muscles, like especially bigger muscles like your glutes, hamstrings, quads, if they remain cold when you go into a lift, the wrong parts of your body are gonna activate. You're gonna activate your shoulders or your lower back and end up getting injured or too sore. So take the time, do the warm-up.